Princeton 4540 behind you, that's my wife, so don't let my wife know. She asked me how much is a wheel next.
I feel very stressed now that a lot of people are looking at me. Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I have a Pinarello Dogma F, and I don't think today is the highlight. We've got Terry here. So Terry, thank you for coming to my video. Are you scared? Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
Okay, you can hold the mic.
Wow, 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 wow. T-E-R-R-Y, Terry.
This is totally unscripted, so welcome back to another video, guys. Today I have a very unique and expensive bike. It's the Pinarello Dogma F, and I have here with me Maxim, who is the lovely owner of this bike. So Maxim, thank you so much for reaching out to me and letting me film the bike. This is the very first F on my channel. I've done F12. That's inspired by an anime. Maybe you can explain more about it later. I had a question earlier. How can you tell the F and the F12 apart? Because it looks very identical to me, but you did tell me and I'll let you explain. So over to you, Max.
So the easiest way is there is a F logo at the back, and of course on the down tube as well. But if you don't see this, it's a little harder to tell. The other way is it got a lot skinnier compared to F12. So if you look from the back, you will see everything kind of lost weight, including the top tube. So skinnier.
How long have you been riding bikes, and why do you buy a Dogma F?
I started riding in 2011. That was a Botman Team Carbon. Then after that, I have upgraded to a Canyon Air Road. And after that, I dabbled it in a specialized LS aluminum frame for a while. Eventually got myself a Assault SL7. So that was my last bike before I owned. So it's been about 10 years. And before I got this, I was watching this anime Yowamushi Pedal. And one of my favorite sprinter in there, he has a Pinarello rim brake red color bike, and he's a really good sprinter, right? So it got me really inspired. I've always wanted a red Pinarello.
Can you maybe just run us through the specs? This is the latest Dura-Ace Groupset.
So for the components, this is everything from the factory. The Groupset is a Dura-Ace 12-speed. Of course, is electronic shifting only for the last generation Di2. And I did add some accessories. So for this current first generation of the 12-speed, they don't have the power meter, so I added the Shimano pedals as a power meter. I carry over all the usual accessories. I have my Garmin Rare and Red Raider and cycling computer.
So you've mentioned that. Okay, sorry. Before we even go there, what's the size of this frame and how tall are you?
I'm 177 centimeter. This is a size 515. I used to have a size 54 SL7, so the shapes are slightly different, and I also felt that on my size 54 SL7 it has always been a little too big. I wanted something a little bit more agile, so when the Cycleworks, the dealer for Pinarello here, they reached out to me and said they have a 515 coming soon, so I said yeah, I'll take that.
So you've owned the SL7 and now this Pinarello Dogma F. Why did you upgrade to the F? Oh, hello Terry, welcome back. I forgot. Okay, sorry, let's cut that out and put it back in again. You've owned the SL7, now the Dogma F. So what's the reason for the upgrade?
I think I got to be honest here. So SL7 is a really good bike. I love it, but a lot of the ownership about a road bike, right, other than the performance, is a very emotional decision. So SL7 rides great. Actually, it looks great as well. But I find that it looks like a very normal bike from one glance. So like you remove away the logo, the labels on the down tube, just a silhouette is very straight, very plain. When every time I see a Dogma, I think that it has the right curves, and it also has this exotic color and lines that got me very excited to own. So to me, I thought, okay lah, I'm not really a professional rider. That the bike I own has to get me out of the house and want to ride, and that's a Dogma for me. So it's a very emotional decision, like something that you watch in anime and say, okay, that's the kind of bike I want.
I have to agree that the Dogma frames are really nice, especially the head tube. This is awesome, man. It has a little bit of a bulge in front and it looks really, really unique. I've mentioned in my previous videos that you have to kind of really like the curves. Like, it's so curvy, especially the seat stay and the fork. Is this the end game?
There's a lot of love-hate relationship for Pinarellos. In fact, when I look at the F12, I also felt maybe it's a little too loud for me. It just screams, right? Like seeing a supercar, like seeing a Ferrari or Lambo equivalent of a bike. I felt it's too loud for me. But the more I look at it, I ask myself, if I have, I won't call it endgame, but I ask myself, if I have to live with one bike, which one will that be? Then that kind of answer my question. Yeah, this is the only bike I want to own if I have to live with one.
Dura-Ace, the new Dura-Ace Groupset. What was the previous Groupset in your SL7? If it's was it Dura-Ace as well?
11 speed.
11 speed Dura-Ace. So you've ridden the older Dura-Ace and now the new 12 speed. Is it worth the upgrade, and is it worth all the hype?
I wouldn't say it is like really worth getting out of your way to upgrade, especially if you're not a pro rider that needs to perfectly match your cadence. And anyway, even Tour de France is won by 11 speed, so I don't see a reason. But the difference I could feel is the shifting a little smoother. It's faster, snappier, and at the same time it does have a bit more gears, so your cadence doesn't really change much. But I mean, 11 speed is already very good, but just adding one more gear in there, let's say when you're climbing or when you are finishing a climb and then going back to downhill, your cadence shifts a little smoother.
Speaking of smoothness, where's the OSPW, man? An expensive bike definitely has to come with a ceramic speed. So where is it?
I think there are a lot of things to do on the bike. So if you notice, I've never changed anything with the components. Everything is stay fully stock out of the box, other than the pedals. Potentially, I will probably look to change to a different wheel set from the stock DD Swiss wheels it came with, and maybe OSPW. But I think I'll probably do the wheel upgrade first before OSPW. I've never been much of an upgrader. My SS7, everything was stock as well. I usually just try to keep it stock. Another reason is that I know that when I sell bikes, whatever aftermarket upgrades I do has a loss or a bigger depreciation on.
Which leads me to my next point. Speaking of stock, I thought Pinarello only sells frames, or do they only sell the complete bike?
This was a complete bike purchase. So when I bought it from Cycleworks, of course I have to pick which component I wanted it with, and I think he told me either I will get either a DD Swiss or the Shimano, the new Wheelset. So yeah, it comes as a complete bike from Pinarello. In fact, because of the shortage of components, it was so hard to source for a 12 speed. They kind of like gotten the very first batch of the Shimano 12 speed that were part of the complete bike sales, which is one of these. But the downside is that because it's the first batch, it didn't even have a power meter.
So you got this from Cycleworks. Now the golden question: what is the price?
Because I also got the pedals added and I believe some accessories over 20k.
How long do you have to wait for the bike once you've placed your order?
I'm not sure about the waiting times now. I think mine was ordered in October and I collected it in December or end of November.
So I actually wanted to buy a F12 in rim, and I called up Cycleworks. Actually, no, I got someone to help me ask, and they told me that the wait time, now we are in December, they told me July next year. I'm like, bro, I'm not going to wait until July. Sorry, I'm not going to get the bike. And I think it's a bit, do you think the bike is inflated now with COVID?
Okay, so two parts to your questions. The wait times, I've gone through wars. So remember I was saying in my bike history from Botman, I went to Canyon 2017 Air Road. So I thought of upgrading to a 2021 Air Road. So I ordered that and I was waiting for like 6 months. Then there were problems with the seat tube. There was a handlebar recall. So I was put on another waiting again until they fixed the problem. So it was 12 months. I still haven't gotten my bike. So at that point I was getting really impatient already, and I was like, okay, never mind. I'll just get something. That's how I ended up with the SS7. So I switched camp from Canyon, and after riding the Canyon for a while, they came back and said, hey, you can have your Canyon Aero now, but it will be in 11 speed. And it's shocking for me because all the bikes were already launching with 12 speed. They have the 12 speed Pinarello available for order, and I tried to get Canyon to switch it to the 11 speed version, 12 speed version, but they said no, you have to cancel the order altogether and you have to make a new order if you want the 12 speed, the new blue version. So I say okay, I'll cancel that, and since I'm going to make a new order, I thought, okay, might as well, consider other brands as well because it's a brand new order anyway. So that's how I ended up with it. So wait times can be long, not just specific to Pinarello, especially during COVID with the component shortages.
DT Swiss wheels, man. What this got to be swapped out, man, with a Pinarello. So what is the next wheel set that you're looking at?
I think I'm quite happy with the DD Swiss. It's a DD Swiss 240. There's I can't remember the brand. I'm gonna get flame for this. But there's a new wheel trend with the ups and Princeton. Yeah, that looks pretty sick. Yeah, I'm potentially gonna look at that. Also because I used to have the Roval Repeat on my SS7, which was what they call asymmetric. So rear is deeper, front is a little less, and it is wider at the front. So it has this tear shape aerodynamics through the crosswind. This is just very generic, as generic as you can get, 50-50. So yeah, potentially look at the wheels, but I haven't decided yet. I think earlier question now I recall. You're talking about the long wait times, right? I think, yeah, the cycling industry kind of gone through this whole COVID period where people are stuck and don't know where to go. So they all picked up cycling, and the shortages of components and bike frames added onto that problem. But I think things will get back to normal, and now, in fact, even other brands, they're shipping a lot faster today.
Princeton Wheels. This is going to be like the Ineos, the Team Ineos setup, right? They have Princeton wheels and they run the Dogma. Which Princeton are you looking at? Is it the deeper one, the 4540?
Yeah, maybe Princeton 4540 behind you. That's my wife, so don't let my wife know. She asked me how much is the wheel next. So yeah, potentially, but like I said, I'm usually not a upgrader. So I know there are those very enthusiastic cyclists who do everything custom. Everything needs to be upgraded. I'm the opposite end of that. Weekend rider, rides like one ride a week. I buy everything stock, I ride it stock, and when I want a new one, I just sell the whole. So like my SS7 just sold as a stock, nothing's changed.
Okay, this is going to be a bit sensitive question though. But what is the weight of your bike?
It's not sensitive, you're not asking my weight.
I'm going to ask another question, but...
Yeah, you're not asking my weight. So the bike, I believe, is 6.79 with the pedals and the GPS mount, but without the cycling computer.
6.8 is an extremely impressive number for a disc brake bike. I think when Pinarello Dogma F, they came out with the promotional video, they said it was the lightest frame ever, and it is, man. It's like 6.8 for a disc brake. It's amazing. And also I think it's because of a very, very light group set, assuming Dura-Ace is the one of the lightest.
It's slightly lighter group set than the SRAM, and from what I learned, they did a lot of things to try to save weight, a little cheating if I may. So instead of trying to save it on the frame, the seat bolts, they try to 3D print it with some special material. I can't remember what they call it, titanium or magnesium. So it is a lot lighter than the last generation, and of course they made it a lot skinnier, so that shaved a few grams.
So just now we were looking at the seat bolt, and I had a comment because it's a nut which is a bit different to adjust the angle of the saddle, which I think it's a bit of a problem, right? If you want to adjust the angle and there's the nut, how do you get your spanner into that nut? I mean, the hole is really small.
Answer what a bike shop would probably tell you. Well, maybe that's the same that they told me as well. So the whole thing is done with a bike fit, right? So even there's a tape on top of the adjustment so that you won't accidentally try to adjust it. The idea is that once you adjust it, it is bike fitted to you. You don't try to change so much, but I think it is doable. You just put a torque wrench in there and get it done. So there's just two screws.
Enough of bike specifics. Let's go on to the performance. how is it as a bike?
So it is smooth. It gives me that comfort of a road bike. Not although it's aero enough, it feels very comfortable for long distance rides. The hammer part is the power transfer is as imminent as SS7 to me. So I rode this back with my SS7, right? So SS7 is very responsive, very good. But at times I felt that it's a little harsh. This bike feels easier to live with for long rides.
I'm done. I'm going to move on to Instagram Q&A. Do you have any other questions? Or do you want to top up on anything? You want to speak about anything? Here's your chance.
So I think Pinarello has been a very big brand around the rim brakes. In fact, even the F still comes in a rim brake version. So until my Canyon 2017 Canyon, I was also on a rim brake. Just that in this current generation, they have made the disc brake light enough to be competitive with other brands like SS7, which is about the same weight. At the same time, the predictability, because Singapore, it could rain anytime. I've been caught in the rain at the end of the ride or in the middle of the ride so many times, and I hated my rim brake braking performance in the wet. So to me, it's a practical choice to just go to disc brake. And I'm also kind of like a believer after riding the SS7 with the disc brake for a while. I really love it, especially in the rain.
Instagram Q&A. If you guys want to ask your questions, follow me on Instagram and you'll get a chance to ask your interview. So next we've got 6 pages long of Instagram questions, and as usual, now my new format is I give people 1 minute. I've got a timer here, so 1 minute to answer the question. So the first question is, how fast do you usually roll and what is your average speed on the Dogma F? So 1 minute.
I was hoping not to get the rider performance questions like this. I'm a very slow rider, I would say. Don't have any comms. The rolling speed for me is around 36 kilometer per hour. Yeah, around 36. But in the group rides, I try to catch up with the faster guys in front.
Oh, I love this question. If someone just got into cycling not more than a year and bought this bike, is he or she a poser?
I would not dare to say that, because although I've been riding for 10 years, almost 11 soon, to me everyone has a dream bike, right? You if you have the budget and you can afford the bike, and if your dream bikes come across, I asked myself this question 2011 when I started riding. Of course I would have loved this, but why did I not buy this? Well, I couldn't afford this bike at that time. So yeah, so if you could afford it, yeah, power to you, man.
Can you compare the ride quality to an F12? I asked you earlier if you've ridden an F12, you said no, but you've test ridden it. So do you think it makes any difference?
Yeah, so when I was at the Cycleworks, I was talking to Kenneth. He has an F12, so he has an F12 515 as well. I test rode it because I wasn't sure 515 would be perfect for me, coming from a 54 SS7. So compared to the F12, the comfort is about the same. Both F12, this and are feels as splendid as a Madone. I have a friend who rides a Madone that I always try on. The only difference I felt between this and the F12 is F12 is a little heavier. It feels more like Madone because Madone is about the same weight. This feels as light as my SS7, but more comfortable.
Is it true that the F stands for fastest?
I have no idea, man. You got to look at their marketing material. But I find their marketing material always very funny. If you look at the brochure, they always take a dig at the top mag, Specialized. They're always very anti-Specialized, and I'm one of those person who switched from one. So yeah, but I think I like the way they got rid of the numbering, so it feels a bit more timeless. Because if I have an F12 and they launch something like F14, I will feel like, oh, that's my last generation bike. So I'm happy that I don't have to keep upgrading anymore.
So what is after F? G?
I don't know. They might drop it altogether given the trend. So after dropping numbering, maybe they will just drop the F altogether and say it's just Dogma.
A $20,000 bike. So what do you do for a living?
I was hoping you won't say this out so loud in front of my wife. Now she knows the price. I run a software company.
Okay. Are you hiring?
Yes, we are.
Maybe if I lose my job or if my YouTube career fails, I can come and look for you. How does it feel to have unlimited money?
I really wish I have unlimited money, man. But I think the COVID has changed a lot of the spending patterns a lot. So I used to travel a lot. So for the past 2 years, I haven't been able to fly. So no holidays, not even much of a staycation. Other hobbies like going out with friends, partying, drinking, those are very minimal. So it's like this has become the only hobby I have left. So other than eating, sleeping, and walking, so this is the only place I could spend money on. So while it's expensive, I did save up for a few years so that I could really eventually attain my dream bike, which I have been inspired on since a long time ago. But yeah, unlimited money. Well, I won't even have to sell my old bikes. I'll just keep all of them in a big garage.
Did he pass the test? Your wife is behind you. Why buy such an expensive bike? And does the price affect the way you ride, where you do not ride on the rain or on the gravel because it's so expensive?
This is an interesting thought. Yes, you tend to be more careful with the bike, so you wouldn't try to trash this on a gravel or anything like that. So there's a validity to that question. But I have a Brompton, which I ride with the kids, and we have a cheaper foldy. I think got it for like $200. So that $200 foldy, I just trash it everywhere. So I guess different tools for the different task. If I want to go gravel, I'll probably not be bringing this.
These are Pirelli tires. Are they the best tubeless tires, and why DT Swiss?
Like I said, I'm one of those favorite customers of the bike shop. I don't ask much questions. I just say, okay, this bike go. So yeah, I didn't really choose. Honestly, I didn't really choose the tire, nor the Wheelset. So I basically got this as a complete bike. They have this in this Wheelset and these tires, and that was a setup. I think this is not tubeless. Yeah, so there's still a tube inside. But DT Swiss, the good thing is when I rode my Roval Specialized, I did some research about the Roval wheels. Actually, they are OEM DT Swiss, so I guess it's a trustable, decent brand.
I am very surprised that they gave you a clincher wheel, judging that you paid so much for the bike, but they put tubes in it. Shame on you, whoever who gave this. just kidding, man. This is more a personal question, right? So once you've jotted your name down, you pen down your name to line up for the bike, do you have to pay a deposit, and can you cancel anytime? Let's say you've waited too long and like, you know what, I'm not going to buy the bike. So how is that process?
Yeah, there was a deposit to make sure that you're really committed to buying the bike. I think by nature there's a whole objective of the deposit, right? So I'm not sure whether you can get a deposit bike if you change your mind. The whole objective is to make sure that they don't need to look for other buyers. But given how hot the demand is recently, even if you cancel it, I don't think they will have difficulty selling the bike to the next few people waiting in the line.
I've known a couple of my friends who placed order for the new F in the plutonium color. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, and they got a call, I think, from Cycleworks telling them, you know what, there is no more. They ran out of paint in Italy for the plutonium color, so they only have the black on black. If you want to wait, you have to wait really long for the plutonium color. But I like the plutonium color. I think it's fine.
In fact, my Canyon was black on black. My SS7 is a black with a hints of shimmer. So I will have actually considered a black on black. In fact, I've never owned a red bike in my life. Yeah, black on black will look great. In fact, I've never seen a black on black in Singapore yet. Yeah, that would be cool.
Haven't watched my videos, man. I did a black on black F12.
Not the F.
Oh, the F, yeah. Probably maybe it's not out on the roads yet. Lovely question. What's this bike's greatest flaw?
Price. I think it's a little overpriced for what it is. I mean, after all, it's a road bike, and how fast it goes is really down to your engine. So if I had other hobbies, I probably would have just stayed with my older bikes. But yeah, it's too expensive, I guess.
So here's the thing, right? They've got to price it. It's more of like a marketing thing, and they've got to price it as a premium brand. They can't be pricing it like a $5,000 bike. So let's say if this bike were to retail at $5,000 instead of $20,000, will you still look at it the same, and would you still think it's a high-end bike? Yeah,
so I think I'm a very vain person when I choose bikes. So I look at the bike, ignore the brand, ignore the colors. I don't ignore the color, but I want to see the silhouette. So I want the curves to look fast. So in fact, I was very interested in getting something like a Madone because although it's heavy, it looks very aero. The lines are sleek. Even between a Canyon Aero and an Ultimate, I bought an Aero instead of an Ultimate against a lot of friends' recommendation because I just felt that Aero has sleeker line, it looks fast. So if this was 5,000, I would have bought it a long time ago, man.
We are out of questions, so I want to ask more questions. I ride a Venge. I'm very interested to buy in a Dogma. Poison, man. And I mean, yeah, the price is just way too expensive. I unfortunately do not own a software company. So what are your advice? I mean, do you recommend this bike to someone, let's say like me, if I want to upgrade?
From a Venge, potentially, yes. Here's my economist way of thinking. So of course, there are two ways of looking at it. Venge is kind of getting superseded by SS7, so it becomes harder to attain over time. And price could go up because there's a limited supply, or it could go the way of some of the older obsolete brand that hasn't yet become a classic, where people say, oh, this is already an obsolete model. People will be looking for a model that is still in production, although 1 or 2 generations older. Whereas the way Pinarello has been doing the bikes is that they don't have a aero or light bike. They make only one bike. So if you are talking about a resale value, if you can, let's say, find a good deal from either parallel importer or even someone who's selling used, and of course Dogma F probably a little early, but if you can find a good deal on a Dogma F, I think it will retain a resale value pretty well. I'm looking at the F12s. F12 has been strong even with the F in the market.
I remember coming across a Pinarello F12 in my size. And just the frame, the guy was selling it for I think about 6,000 or 7,000 without this is the Moss Talon handlebar, right? And I asked a couple of friends, they told me it's a bit expensive because the handlebar itself will set you back like $1,000 or $2,000. Yeah, it's expensive, so I decided to drop that deal. Something just came up in my head. Do you really need 12 speed, or do you really utilize all the gears?
I don't know what's up with the 12 speed lah. Why do we even need so many speed? I used to run 10 speed. I'm already more than enough.
I got to be honest, no, because I'm not a pro cyclist or anything like that. 11 speed is enough for me, but 12 speed is just marginally better.
Any last closing remarks before I end this? We are pretty much done.
Yeah, no closing remarks, but right now this batch they don't come with the power meter, so remember to budget for your pedal power meter if that's what you need. Other than that, I'm very, very happy with the bike. I think the biggest motivation for me is that this gets me out of the house to exercise. I really hate to jog, so yeah, this is a good way to try to get some exercise done.
I think that's it, man. Max, thank you so much, and thanks for providing the insight. And I love this bike. If you decide to sell it to me for half the price, I'll take it. You have my number. And that's it. And if you guys want to feature your bike on my channel, just DM me on Instagram and follow me there. If you have any questions, I'll be free to answer them. And thank you, Max, and I hope to see you again.